and fat tire biking trails, tubing, and ski lessons by reservation. Know before you go. Visit hansonhills.org for up-to-date protocols and reservations. hansonhills.org in Grayling.
Friday, June 7th, the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series heats up with Shinedown.
The Revolutions Live Tour.
My monsters are real. Cut the cord. Tickets start at $36 and on sale now at the Soaring Eagle box office or online at etix.com. Party hard.
Rock harder.
Shinedown, June 7th. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
It's time for the Northern Michigan High School Sports Scoreboard Show on Up North Sports Radio with your host, Rich Calkins.
Sports Show presented by the Bill Marsh Auto Group on Up North Sports Radio. Rich Calkins and Jerry Coyne in studio with you this morning. And joining us right out of the gates is the McBain Ramblers head coach, Bruce Coltman. And Bruce, it's been a few years since we've chatted.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember how long exactly, but yeah, a few years.
So
don't get choked up.
I really
Coach.
enjoyed it, though.
Yeah, that's Coach. I went down and watched this is years ago again, down at what was the regional finals or quarters down in Roscommon when you had another good team down there, and real impressed with how you played. And this team certainly doesn't lack for talent as well, as we've heard from opposing coaches how tough it is to play McBain again this year as you're sitting there at 15-1.
Yeah, we have this is kind of a 2-year process with this team. Some of these kids were, well, maybe even 3. Some of these guys were up as freshmen, sophomores. So I'll start with Ben Rodenbaugh. He's a 6'4" point guard for us. He's been up for 3 years.
That helps.
He's like my confidant, you might say. He's my security blanket. He does everything for us. He scores, he rebounds, he sets his teammates up, and he's probably our best defender by far. So then inside we got 6'9" Evan Haverkamp, goes about 235, and he's all 6'9", and he's a strong young man, averaging 18.9 I think a game and about 12 rebounds a game. So quite an intimidating force inside. And then around him, we're kind of we're probably not your prototypic type team in that we got a 5'10" guard, Nate Cucci, who's very, very good athletically, quick, shoots it well. And then we got Clayton Engelwright over on the wing at the other guard, who's a skinny 6 foot if I really stretch him out. And then we start a power forward that goes maybe 6 foot in Carson Murphy. So.
Yeah, I tell you, Coach, impressive. You've been consistently a Class C or Division III team. What's in the drinking water of McBain for you to consistently have guys anywhere from 6'6" to 6'9" on your team?
It's a very heavy Dutch community, and I think it's Dutch blood, honestly. And we have a strong tradition here. It was started it was started before I went here. I graduated here, played here, and I've just been very fortunate to, I don't know, I guess keep it going, to anyway work with it. So.
Yeah, and Coach, of course you have that 2002 state championship team that you coached. How long had you been coaching at McBain when you guys won that state championship in 2002?
Well, my first year of doing, it goes back. I started here in the fall of '89, and I was coaching girls, freshmen, boys, freshmen, moved up to girls varsity the second year, boys, JVs. But I started coaching boys varsity in '94, '95. So this is my 30th year at the helm of boys varsity. Wow. But I've been here 35 years. So.
Do you teach in the school, Coach?
Yeah, I'm still teaching here. I'm kind of a part-timer, you might say. I retired 3 years ago, and they didn't have anybody really to replace me, so they asked me if I'd do it. So I'm still here doing that as well. So,
Coach, what do you know about the Hamtramck team you're going to take on today?
I've had a chance to look at them a little bit. We've had kind of a busy week here, but very athletic. They got good size. They're going to extend the floor, put some pressure on us. We don't see a lot of that. I don't know if a lot of teams just don't want to press us. They'll mix it up defensively. They'll throw some different presses at us. They may play some zone. We try to prepare, like in our practices. One of the things we do, I probably do more than anybody else, is we'll spend 2 hours on defense and rebounding. I just I'm a little old school, I guess. I believe those things are what win you championships, and so hopefully, without doing a lot of scouting, we'll see things on the floor. We'll recognize how to defend it, and hopefully we'll be successful.
Yeah, most of the teams in the metropolitan Detroit area do play pressure, try to, speed up the game, inject a lot of chaos into the game. That's the way Cass Tech is going to play a little later on in that showcase. That's my basketball experience. I'm from the Catholic League downstate. So I would imagine this Hamtramck team is going to do that. So it should be good for you to shake things up a little bit, see how your team reacts.
Oh, absolutely. I'm kind of looking forward to it, honestly. I mean, I've been telling our guys all along, this is a great opportunity for us, our community, see what we're really made of as March here starts to approach. I just hope we come in there ready to go to battle. We played last night, but I think these guys are young and they'll recover, and we'll be ready to go today. So
let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I want to represent McBain, represent Northern Michigan.
No, absolutely. This was a great experience as a fan, as a gym rat to watch last year, and I'm excited to see your team play and some of these other teams. Will you stick around and watch some of the other games, or because of your schedule and everything else, are you guys going to pack it up and head back?
Well, yeah, we have to get back. We're one of those schools that does our homecoming in the winter.
Oh.
So, last night was a big homecoming day. A lot of events going on throughout the night, the game. But we have a dance here today. So guys got to get back. They got to take their young ladies out to dinner and get primed up for the dance. So, yeah, we got to leave as soon as we can. So.
Right.
Gotcha.
Now.
Yeah, I want to go.
Go ahead, Bruce.
I just want to give a shout out to Sean Finnegan for setting all this up. So.
Yeah, he loves it. Yeah, he's been wanting to do this for years. Of course, got us started last year, and he's doing a great job of getting some of the best teams around North Central Michigan, and then getting some teams to come up from the Metro Detroit area. It's truly is a showcase of good basketball teams. And if you're a high school basketball fan or a basketball fan in general, the Traverse City St. Francis Gym today is where it is happening.
No doubt about it.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Coach, I just want to go back a little bit. You only have one loss on the schedule, and, of course, that was against a very good Cadillac team in Cadillac, and it was a low-scoring affair, 36-33. I'm sure that you learned a ton about your team playing that really long Cadillac team.
Yeah, what I was happy about was, we didn't go in there and bow, like, oh, we can't play with these guys. We battled hard. We played hard. I think the one thing we ran out of gas a little bit towards the end, and we stopped executing on offense. We didn't execute as high as we had throughout the game. And then, we really didn't do a good job of rebounding down the stretch as well. So again, those things are being emphasized every day in practice. I can guarantee you that. So.
Coach, do you have a shallow bench as well? I know that's pretty much the Achilles heel for Cadillac.
Yeah, I say yes and no. We have a young man who's out right now that had been starting. Hopefully, we'll get him back here next week. We got a really good freshman. He goes 6'4", 6'5", Clayton Hooker, that you'll see play here tonight.
Basketball name.
Yeah, he's starting to come into his own. You know, it's such a jump from middle school basketball to varsity.
Sure.
But I think people are gonna be a little bit surprised. He's physically got the body. And then we got a couple guards on the bench that I don't know. Sometimes as a coach, you got to put them in, see where they're at,
right.
Mentally. And then we'll play it from there. I'm not afraid to go 8 or 9 deep. Just depends maybe on how things are going. So,
who's in your district this year?
Well, it's a tough district. We got to go clear over to Benzie, and Benzie is hosting. Benzie's playing really well.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and then Traverse City St. Francis will be in there, who we're going to play on Tuesday next week. And then I think it's Lake City, Houghton Lake, us, and there's one other team, and I honestly can't tell you that right now. So.
Yeah.
No, but that, like you said, those Benzie teams and Sean Finnegan's got St. Francis playing much better than what was going on earlier in the year.
No doubt.
So that team's gaining some confidence, and that'll be a good one for sure. But Bruce, you've always been generous with your time, being able to join us here, and we hope to have you on here in the next couple of weeks as well as you guys progress towards districts and continue on and look for a potential another state championship for McBain.
Sure. I appreciate it, and thank you for the opportunity, and look forward to it.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys play today, Coach. So best of luck.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, head coach Bruce Coltman of the McBain Ramblers, a really good Class C or Division III.
They're
team.
starting. Their point guard is 6'4".
For a Class C
I can't wait to see that in a 6'9" center. He's got an oddball size a team, so I'm looking forward to seeing this. I don't know anything about Hamtramck.
Yeah, I don't. I looked at some of their schedule last night. Of course, they Division I school. They play a lot of those Metro Detroit.
They're not in the PSL.
No,
though.
they're an independent now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I saw that. So yeah, they're willing.
They haven't been in the PSL actually for a long time.
Okay.
But
you look at
Rudy Tomjanovich's jersey's hanging in the rafters there.
That's a good one to hang.
Not bad at all. Yeah.
No doubt
What is their record?
They're 10-8. They've played 18 games already.
Wow.
So they've played quite a few. So they playing 22 regular season games. They have just a few left.
Their season's almost over.
It is, exactly.
Yeah, I wonder
what get some rest in between before districts start.
Yeah, I got to find out who their coach's name is. See if I can get a minute or two with him and find out what district they're in.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Exactly.
That gets crazy down in when I was at Brother Rice, we always had 2 PSL teams play in our district out in Birmingham.
Okay.
Usually the district was at Seaholm. So they would spread these teams out, and I don't know if that's still happening.
Okay.
But they, they would scatter the PSL teams so they didn't all beat each other up.
Again, like they had in the regular season. You imagine.
Yeah, but Detroit Central would come out and we'd beat the crap out of them. They're like, what the hell happened? We would have rather played King.
Yeah. No, it's true. Exactly. Those are tough districts to draw.
Yeah.
For sure. In those Metro Detroit areas, we have so many good teams in small areas.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
To divide it up just a little bit. So, all right, when we come back, we're going to get a hold of Ryan Benzenberg from Cadillac as they're getting ready to play in the showcase today at Traverse City.
They're the game right after McBain, so I'm going to get a really nice double dip.
No question.
Of basketball. It's a lot of fun. So as you mentioned, Rich, if you're a gym rat, $10.
$10.
All the basketball you can handle.
That's right. No, good stuff. You're listening to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, presented by the Bill Marsh Auto Group on Up North Sports Radio.
The weather is brought to you by Bay Mills Resort and Casino, your year-round adventure on the shores of Lake Superior. After a fun-filled day outside, enjoy excitement at Bay Mills with your favorite games, food, and entertainment. Visit baymillscasino.com or like Bay Mills on Facebook.
I'm Doppler 9 and 10 Chief Meteorologist Tom O'Hare. Today's forecast, lots of clouds, some flurries, a couple snow showers, but not a lot adding up at all. Well, it's melting as it reaches the ground. As for temperatures, in the 30s, but wind chills back in the 20s. Wind speeds about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now later on tonight, more clouds and clear skies, some flurries, a couple snow showers, mainly north of Indian River, and low temperatures dropping down their 20s and 30s. Now later on Sunday, partly cloudy skies, some flurries, highs in the 30s. Monday, Tuesday, more clouds and sunshine, some flurries, highs generally in the 30s, but cooling down to the 20s and low 30s on Tuesday. I'm Doppler 9 and 10 Chief Meteorologist Tom O'Hare.
Listen, do you hear that? That's the sound of wide open spaces at Shanty Creek Resort in Bel Air. The sound of laughter coming from the Alpine Tubing Park. The sound of splashing in the pool. The sound of shushing down Shush Mountain. Here we go outside to play. When it's time for you to enjoy the wide open spaces of northern Michigan, Shanty Creek will be there to welcome you with over 275 lodging options, 42 downhill ski and snowboard runs, and plenty of outdoor fun in Bel Air and online at shantycreek.com.
The Traverse City Record Eagle wants your nominations now through February 16th for our 4th annual Women's History Month publication. Our commemorative edition honors women committed to embracing all and who have taken the lead in showing the importance of inclusion, equality, and fairness throughout our region. Nominate a woman, past or present, to be honored and celebrated in this annual Women's History Month publication, to include feature profiles of nominees. Now through February 16th. Nominate at record-eagle.com/NMI Women.
Friday, June 7th, the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series heats up with Shinedown.
The Revolutions Live Tour.
My monsters are real! Cut the cord! Tickets start at $36 and on sale now at the Soaring Eagle box office or online at etix.com. Party hard.
Rock harder.
Shinedown, June 7th. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Hi, this is Bill Marsh Jr. Introducing the new eMarsh Custom Purchase Experience at BillMarsh.com. eMarsh makes car buying fast and easy. Choose your vehicle and options, get an accurate trade-in value, calculate your monthly payment choices, and apply for credit. You can even schedule at-home or at-work test drives and deliveries. Start your eMarsh experience at BillMarsh.com. eMarsh. Welcome to easy. And thank you.
Catch all the action of Traverse City West Titans sports, streaming live online at upnorthsportsradio.com. Brought to you in part by Cherry Capital Airport TVC, your total value airport, tvcairport.com, upnorthsportsradio.com. Welcome back to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, presented by the Bill Marsh Auto Group on Up North Sports Radio. Rich Calkins and Jerry Coyne in studio with you. And going from one 15-1 team to another 15-1 team, the Cadillac Vikings. We have Ryan Benzenberg, the head coach of the Vikings. Ryan, big basketball game today as you take on Wayne Memorial at the Showcase in Traverse City.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, it'll be a great opportunity for our kids, particularly this late in the season, to be able to challenge ourselves with a team that we typically don't see. They're going to play a style that we typically don't see, and we're excited for the challenge to play a really well-coached, guard-heavy team.
Yeah, explain that a little bit, Coach. What have you seen with Wayne Memorial?
Yeah, they got two guys that can really go, the Metlock kid, number 3, and the Allen kid, number 5, both sophomores. Both are going to be very, very good. They're already really good, but over the next 2 years, you're going to see them blossom. Both, in my opinion, if they want to, will end up being mid to high Division I players. The Metlock kid can go if he can consistently make a jump shot. I don't know how anyone guards him. We had an opportunity to play him this summer, and he chewed us up pretty good. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see. They're going to struggle to match our size, and we're going to struggle to match their quickness. So I'm interested to see which one of those can do a better job. And I think whatever wins that little matchup, we'll probably come out on top.
When did you play them, Coach? Or where?
We played them in June. Actually, Sean Finnegan we do a shootout, and then the following week he does a shootout, and Wayne Memorial came up to their shootout. It was a little goofy because one of the gyms that he was hosting games at had some condensation issues, so we ended up only getting to play them for a half. And I did not have Charlie Howell was not there, so they beat us up pretty good, but we did not have our full complemented team. So I'm excited to see. Obviously, they've grown a little bit, we've grown a little bit, and it'll be a great challenge.
They're 11-4.
Yeah. Now, Coach, it's always fun to see from a basketball fan standpoint to see two contrasting styles out there on the court played at a high level. So, again, if all the basketball fans out there, you've got to go to Traverse City St. Francis today for the showcase, because there's going to be some excellent basketball played, and certainly the Cadillac Vikings are a part of that.
I agree. Not only our game, I'm excited for our game, obviously, but to have McBain, another local team, get a chance to play a team that they obviously would never see in a regular season situation will be super cool. And then the defending Class A state champs are coming back to Traverse City, and I mean, that doesn't happen often, particularly in the Division I ranks. So that's really, really cool. And then obviously Sean getting to play what's kind of building into a rivalry with Glen Lake to end it. Pretty cool all the way around. And, I think you had asked me a question a few weeks ago regarding showcases, and, when we were highlighting ours a couple weeks ago, right. Just being able to reach out and to play teams that you're not super accustomed to playing just helps you so much. Win, lose, or draw. Whether we win by 10, lose by 10, we will take something away from this tonight that we wouldn't be able to replicate in practice or playing the Big North schedule. So I think it's awesome. I appreciate the folks from downstate wanting to branch out and play some Northern Michigan teams as well. And it's interesting, guys. We've played two teams from the Dearborn-Detroit area, and they happen to play each other. So right. We played Dearborn-Fortson, and Dearborn-Fortson and Wayne Memorial happen to be in the same league. So we do have a little bit of something to judge ourselves. Wayne beat Fortson twice this year in the season, but both close games. So we know going in what we're up against.
Yeah, it's it's outstanding that these teams want to travel. It's a considerable drive from Wayne, Michigan, and from Detroit Cass Tech. So kudos to the coaches, because it's a little surprising when you look at it on paper that they'd come up and play here in Traverse City.
I couldn't agree more. And you think about how many good quality teams are there between Detroit Cass Tech and Traverse City that they could stop along the way and play versus driving the full distance. So I couldn't agree more. I think it's really cool. It's helping grow not only the game of basketball statewide, but particularly in Northern Michigan, I think. Yeah. Kids that typically don't get exposed to it see, there's basketball outside of Northern Michigan, and it's always typically a pretty darn good brand of basketball outside of Northern Michigan, and it kind of opens the kids up here's eyes to what needs to happen for them to excel. So I think it's really great.
Coach, have you ever taken your team down to St. Cecilia?
We have not. I have not had the opportunity to do that.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah. Now, Coach, also, I think in the big picture of things, having this 22 games that you can play in the regular season now is allowing some of these showcases to take place.
No doubt. It gives you a couple extra. Typically what happens is most teams are in a conference, so you play, 8 to 10 to 12 conference games, and you try to do some local rivalry, non-conference, but to be able to add 2 more games where you can kind of branch out and reach out to the Wayne Memorials of the world or the Dearborn Fortsons or the DeWitts of the world that you typically would never think of scheduling, gives everybody a little bit more flexibility to make it happen. So that's definitely a reason why we were able to do it, for sure.
Yeah. Coach, you're scheduled to play at 3:45 today. Will you get up there early to watch that first game between McBain?
Yeah, so our plan is we're going to treat that McBain-Hamtramck game a lot like a JV game for us. Yep. I'm super, super big into routines, and I don't like getting away from routines. So we're going to treat that first game like we would a JV game for us, and we'll go up and watch that, and then we'll play our game. We're actually going to stick around and watch a little bit of the Cass Tech Central game, and then we got a reservation at 6:30 to have some B-dubs on the way home with our group. So it'll be a great day for Cadillac basketball.
Oh, that's a hey,
there
man.
You go.
That's a good day.
Michigan will be at Nebraska on TV, so that'll be good.
Yeah, we'll be watching. We're excited about it.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a good way to end the day at B-dubs there for sure, Coach.
Anyway, anytime we can break bread together, spread some infinity. Our group is always so close together to begin with, but to be able to do stuff off the court just continues to build that trust and love for each other. So anytime we have an opportunity to do it, we try to take advantage of it.
Right. Now, Coach, not looking too far ahead or anything, but after today's game, then you get right back at it against a very good 16-2 Reed City team.
Yeah, Coach, what Coach Welch has done there, pretty significant turnaround, right?
Yeah.
Like him and I are pretty good friends. We shoot text messages back and forth, and what he's done in a pretty short amount of time is pretty incredible, and I'm super happy for him. That guy works really, really hard at his craft. They will be a very formidable opponent and someone that we're going to have to prep for on a pretty short week, really. We would typically, we spent Friday prepping for Wayne, and I'll give our guys tomorrow off. That'll only give us a one-day prep for Reed City, but we know them a little bit. They know us, and it'll be a great test as we kind of get into the sprint portion of this race of the season, right?
Yeah.
Everybody healthy on the team, Coach?
Actually, I wish I could tell you we were, but my starting five-man, Bailey Wade, the 6'4", 250-pound football guy that is really, really playing so well, rolled his ankle Wednesday night in practice and was not able to play at Petoskey Thursday and is not going to play today. So that thins us out a little bit. It's healing all right. We're hoping he can go Tuesday at Reed City, but we're going to be extra cautious. We're going to need him in March more than two non-conference games coming up. So we're going to be treat him like kid gloves, and hopefully he can get healthy quick.
Yeah, and you have a 6'4" kid that usually is like your 6th or 7th man that you can fill that slot with, don't you, Coach?
Yeah, Grant Williams is his name, and he started at Petoskey Thursday, actually had 10 points, 5 rebounds, played really, really well in taking the starting spot. But we're not very deep. I mean,
right.
I love our 8 players, but we only have 8 players. So now that gives us 7.
Right.
Because it's a standalone game, we are going to bring a couple JV kids with us today. Honestly, a couple of them might see spot minutes, just end of quarter stuff like that. But we're gonna play 7, and the way Wayne likes to get up and down, it'll be interesting to see how our conditioning is. It's something that we've been focusing on, being pretty thin numbers-wise. So I feel like our condition's in good shape. But we'll see when we play a team that likes to get up and down as much as Wayne does.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be tested in ways maybe that, like you had said, Coach, maybe the Big North doesn't test you. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see when curveballs start coming at you and how you adjust.
That's what I'm most excited about. I'm most excited about seeing us handle some adversity, seeing us handle. We talk all the time. Basketball games are hills and valleys, and we work really hard and talk about when we are in a valley, we want that valley to be shallow and get out of it as quick as we can. So when there is valleys, because there's going to be in every game, stay together, do what we do, defend like crazy, and take care of the glass, and hopefully we can get out of those valleys in quick time.
Sounds like we heard from McBain.
Yeah. You
Coach,
Bruce Coltman, a lot of things in common, Coach.
Yeah, he just said occasionally have a 2-hour practice where all they do is rebounding and defensive drills. I'm like, oh, I love you. That's great, Coach.
He's one of the guys that I've emulated my entire career. I can tell you that. He's pretty damn good.
I was always great for that because I always missed the shots. There was always a rebound. And
always a rebound to be had.
That's
huh?
right.
Exactly. Man, how Coyne ended up with 15 rebounds?
Well, because he took 16 shots. That's right.
All right. Well,
that's funny.
Ryan, best of luck today, this afternoon at 3:45 at Traverse City St. Francis Gym. It's going to be an epic battle. Lots of good basketball being played there. And so thank you for taking time out today before that, and wish you all the best.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on. Looking forward to seeing you. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, Coach, chat up with you a little bit during that first game.
Okay, looking forward to it.
All right. Ryan Benzenberg of the Cadillac 15-1 Cadillac Vikings as they get ready to take on Wayne Memorial. That should be a classic battle, Jason.
Yeah, no, I saw that Wayne Memorial schedule. They played some interesting games. They lost to that Dearborn team that you saw.
Yeah. I kept that roster. Just the teams that I think that got a chance to make a run at state championships, I kept that Dearborn roster just so I could follow.
It's crazy, this schedule that Hamtramck played.
I know.
They played nothing but showcases.
Exactly. You look at the records of the teams that you're like, holy
Yeah,
cow.
they have played some teams.
Yes.
Grosse Pointe South and Grand Blanc, and
with that independent schedule, they're not padding the schedule at all.
Lance Cruz, all the teams that they've lost to,
legit
basketball. So, by the way, and it says here that I don't know if all the games will be on YouTube, but at least the first game will be.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I do see that here now looking at the Cadillac schedule because, again, it says that 4 games for a $10 entry fee, also live stream on YouTube.
Yeah. I know that the last year's showcase, those kids that do some of the games around here, they do St. Mary's games and stuff where they're doing the game. And I believe they have their own YouTube page, so that's probably where that's all going.
Exactly. You see them setting up their video equipment and all that. Yes, I have noticed that at a couple of different places.
The 2 of the kids that are in it are St. Mary's grads, and one of them graduated with Joe. So I bumped into them last year, and I believe they're doing it. Obviously, they're doing it again this year. They're trying to expand their platform a little bit.
Exactly. No, that's a good way. If you can't make it to the gym, another way to take it in.
Yeah,
So
but go.
But go if you can, man.
I want to see the food trucks.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. You got me. I may have to head over there myself this afternoon to take in.
There's no prime rib buffet, Rich.
Yeah, that's okay. I can. I got a varied diet. I can. If it's
really?
bad for me, I'll eat it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the way I go.
Yeah.
So.
Well, well then we'll make sure. The food trucks, generally speaking, is not the healthiest food
ever.
No,
of course not. No, I go off the Heart Stoppers menu. Is what I do. So. All right, when we come back, we'll talk to Doug Ballman, head coach of Traverse City West. Had a little pregame interview with him yesterday afternoon, but it encompasses our last game and future district action and all that. You're listening to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, presented by the Bill Marsh Auto Group on Up North Sports Radio.
Hi, this is Bill Marsh Jr. Introducing the new eMarsh custom purchase experience at BillMarsh.com. eMarsh makes car buying fast and easy. Choose your vehicle and options, get an accurate trade-in value, calculate your monthly payment choices, and apply for credit. You can even schedule at-home or at-work test drives and deliveries. Start your eMarsh experience at BillMarsh.com. eMarsh. Welcome to easy. And thank you.
What makes Benetham so special is that it's cozy and friendly enough to be your neighborhood hangout, and distinctive enough to host special occasions and celebrations every day. That's why so many in the North will tell you that Benetham's is their favorite. Even the half-off happy hour menu has a dozen unique appetizers and cocktails. Visit Benethams.com to make your reservation and enjoy a dining experience that is truly unique. Benetham's, for the true love of food.
There's a new player in town. Hi, I'm Herman Moore, Lions All-Pro wide receiver, and I'm talking about Eagle Casino and Sports, the real money mobile casino. It's so easy to play. You can go from wager to winner to wallet, just like that.
Sign up now and we'll match your deposit up to $1,500. Or you can get a risk-free bet up to $1,000.
Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan.
Must be 21 or older in Michigan to play.
Your furnace just kicked on, but it doesn't sound quite right. Then you finally admit what you've known for a while. That old furnace may not make it through another winter. JP Heating of Northern Michigan is your answer. They carry a full line of energy-efficient Daikin heating systems for reliable and long-lasting product performance. JP Heating of Northern Michigan, trusted Daikin systems, service second to none, competitive prices, and financing options. Located on Dickerson Road in Gaylord and online at jpheating.com.
Welcome back to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, presented by the Bill Marsh Auto Group on Up North Sports Radio. Rich Calkins and Jerry Coyne in studio with you. And yesterday afternoon, J.J. Rao and I sat down with Coach Doug Ballman via Skype, and talked to him about our upcoming game against Big Rapids on Monday night, but also went over the post-game show that took place at Alpena from Thursday night. This is Doug Ballman for the 13-5 Traverse City West Titans. Rich Calkins joined alongside, as usual, with Doug Ballman, head coach of the Traverse City West Titans. And coach, a big 72-51 win on Thursday night for the Titans.
Yes, real happy with the way we played. All three levels really played well, right? Freshman won, JV won, which sets a nice tone for the varsity to come out with a little excitement, a little energy. I thought we got off to a real good start. Was real happy with our offensive play. Really moved the ball well and shot well, and that was a big difference for us. When those two things start happening for us, we're a tough team to compete with.
Yeah, Coach, unofficially by my scorebook, the team hit 12 threes. You had 11 different players score, and everyone played. And in my book, that's a great night.
That's a great night, absolutely, when we can kind of get a lead where we can get some of those guys in that typically don't get a lot of minutes. They come in, they knock some shots down, which is always fun. The main starters there always get a kick out of those guys being successful, mostly because they know how hard they work in practice, right? So for those guys to be able to be rewarded with game minutes and points in a game means a lot to those starters, because they do impact our ability to be successful by how hard they practice in games for us, or excuse me, how hard they practice with us.
Yeah, and they the entire team was really almost willed the ball to go in the hoop for Pavel Kondrasho. They were really excited. It almost happened, but Pavel's that's got to make him feel good.
He is. He's just such plays such an integral role in our team with his. He's just such a positive attitude. He works hard. He enjoys being there, and the kids just love him and want to see him have success. So we almost had a couple opportunities for him, but again, Pav being Pav, he passed up a couple opportunities to give others opportunities so they could score, and that says a lot about who how Pav is as a person, which is awesome.
That's for sure. And Coach, Alpena is a team that we could run into again in the districts.
Yes, that's our districts are basically our conference. We lose Cadillac, but we gain Marquette. Marquette's having a real good year this year, so we'll see how that pans out. But Big North Conference and our districts, any given night, any given situation, there's definitely nothing written in stone. So we got to bring our A game for these last 4 games, and then get ready for districts for sure.
Right. Now, Coach, in our district, it says Gaylord is the host. Now, is this a traditional district? Will they'll host all the games, or will it be someone will have a home court advantage?
Last year it was the first rounds are always played at a home site, and then there's a finals location. So I'll be honest, I'm not sure how it works this year on whether or not Gaylord's going to host everything, or they're just going to host the first round with who they play, and then the finals are at the highest seeds location. I'm not sure how that's going to work.
Right, and of course, if we continue to win, Coach, I like our chances to be in a number 1 seed in that district.
I think right now it's between us and Marquette. Marquette has a good record, but they also play some very good record-wise UP teams there, even though they're much smaller classes. The MHSA doesn't really take that into consideration. So even though they might not have as good of a record as we do, they could still potentially get the number 1 seed just because of how they give the rating system and the scoring system through the MHSAA, which I'll be honest, doesn't make much sense, but it is what it is.
Right, exactly. Coach, on Monday night, a makeup game. On most people's schedules, they probably don't have a game there, but we welcome in a Big Rapids team that's 11-5 as of right now. They do play a game on Friday night, but that's a good Big Rapids team we're going to play.
It is. It's a very good Big Rapids team. They're quick. They've got some size. They can shoot well. So we'll definitely have to become ready to play. A home game's always nice, especially a build-up to the big Central game on Friday. So we're actually heading to practice right now so we can prep for Big Rapids, and then we'll have a Sunday shoot-around practice before the big Super Bowl and be ready to go Monday.
All right. Looking forward to it, Coach.
Best of luck on Monday night. We'll see you then. JJ and I are fired up to call the game, and go Titans.
Go Titans. Appreciate it, guys. Have a great weekend.
That was head coach Doug Ballman from the Traverse City West Titans. And also yesterday, JC, we're able to sit down via Skype with Kyler Brunin, the newly formed Michigan State commit, after changed his mind from going to West Point, is now going to go to Michigan State, and we get into that a little bit in the interview.
Yeah, let's just check in with that interview, Rich. Thanks.
Rich Calkins, Jerry Coyne in studio with you, and right now talking to Kyler Brunin, Traverse City West, former football player from West, soon to be a Michigan State Spartan. Kyler, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
It's going good, buddy. So National Signing Day just took place the other day, this week, and I think you surprised a few people. Originally, you were verbally committed to go to West Point to play for Army there, but you decided that Michigan State was a better fit. What went into that process, Kyler?
Yeah, I just kind of had a couple things at Army fall through, and then also with the new the new staff at State reaching out. I went down there, checked it out, loved everything about it, loved all the coaches, and kind of decided that's where I want to be.
Right. A little closer to home, so Mom obviously can make some of those 2-hour road trips down to Sparty Stadium there. That certainly parents have to be happy about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, you mentioned it, the all-new coaching staff, including a head coach, Jonathan Smith, comes there as the head man at Michigan State now. He had a good record over at Oregon State, kind of a West Coast guy, and he's got a brand new staff with him. Who were some of the coaches and maybe other players and stuff that really helped you to decide that Michigan State was the right fit?
Oh, yeah, going down there, definitely the O-line coach, Coach M. Just talking to him, really humble, really knowledgeable, and was honest, really honest, like almost brutally honest, which I really liked, and I have a lot of respect for. And then Coach Smith, too, he was just like a normal guy to talk to. Once again, really humble, knew what he was talking about, and just some fun guys to be around.
No, that's great, Kyler. Obviously, you got to feel like, you know what I mean, you want to be somewhere. I mean, you're committing, the next 4 to 5 years of your life somewhere, and you obviously have to have those working relationships.
For sure.
Now, you talked about the O-line coach. That's obviously where you're going to be playing, either along the line, obviously. Did they project you as a tackle or possibly as a guard or center?
Probably guard center. That's the initial thought.
Okay. Well, obviously that center, that position is, in big-time college ball and professional ball, that's a real important position. A lot of times you're calling out the different blocking schemes and things like that. So it's obviously a very cerebral position.
For sure.
Now, also, Kyler, do you plan on redshirting this year, or what's your plan going into your first year at big-time college ball?
I don't know. That's kind of something I'll figure out once I get down there. Nothing's really set yet, and it's kind of just performance-based, really.
Okay. Now, Kyler, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're going to go in as a preferred walk-on, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And explain to our listeners out there and viewers that what actually is a preferred walk-on.
Yeah, so really it's like any other spot in the team. It's just I'm not on scholarship to go play there. So other people are getting paid to go there, and I'm not. So got to work into that. Okay.
And my understanding of it is, too, Kyler, that really coaches they'll give you a little more attention, I think, as a preferred walk-on and as compared to, say, just a regular walk-on. Is that true?
Correct.
Okay, good deal. Now, obviously, when do you plan on heading down to State? Is that going to be like a summertime venture?
Yeah, exactly. It should be like mid-June, I'm thinking.
Now, whether you said the O-line coach is obviously what you're going to be playing, what were some of the things that he shared with you that he would like you to work on between now and when you show up at Michigan State's campus in the summertime?
Some of that's just like with my body, I need to put on some weight. So that's kind of not anything like he's pushed, but something that I think needs to be done. But just with talking about him after he watched my film, kind of footwork was big. I need to be a little quicker on the feet.
Now, also, obviously, you're going to be that brand new weight facility at TC West. You're going to be spending a whole lot of time in there, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So, but so again, anything else about at Michigan State that was a draw to you there? Obviously, you probably have a lot of former teammates that go to Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
And so are you planning on staying then in the dorms, in an athletic dorm down there, Kyler, or is that yet to be determined?
Yet to be determined, but I would think athletic dorms.
Okay. Looking forward to that. I was surprised a few years ago when my daughter went there, and we went down for the campus visit and all that. And one of the things that changed dramatically from the time when I went to school was that the cafeterias down there are open all night long. You know, it's like 24/7. I mean, to me, as a fan of eating, that was a big draw in itself. I'm like 24 hours a day. I can head down there at midnight and eat.
Yeah, that'll definitely be important.
Yeah, and I'm sure with you guys on the football team get some extra perks with training table, different things like that possibly that, say, regular everyday students may not get the luxury of.
Right.
Well, Kyler, we've called your football games for the past 3 years. We've seen the growth in you, and we're really happy for you and your family. Congratulations on this next step, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Kyler Brunin joining us on the show today. Go get him. And as always, Kyler, go Titans and go Spartans.
Okay.
That was Kyler Brunin from Traverse City West there. Spent a few minutes. Again, the big thing was that he was verbally committed initially to go to Army and then decided that Michigan State was the better fit for him.
I'm just surprised that it's a preferred walk-on. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when the first announced, I mean, it was on the news. They
It
had
was,
it on
yeah,
9
it
and
was
10
on the
News.
signing.
So I don't know. He obviously doesn't have a scholarship. And a lot of preferred walk-ons end up getting scholarships.
They work their way into that scholarship.
You know,
yes.
with all the people that transferred out of state and everything else, there had to be a lot of scholarships available. So
I would think that as well, JC.
Yeah, it's so best of luck to him. You know, Big Ten football is great, and especially now with all the influx of new teams coming in.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can impress the coaches enough to get in the squad and get that scholarship and have a successful career as a Michigan State Spartan.
Yeah, it's, as you know, offensive linemen, almost every offensive lineman going from high school, they redshirt. Almost, unless you're such a unique talent, that because you typically do not have the size that they want you to be at.
No.
And so it takes a year or two for you in those college weight rooms and weight programs to build yourself up. They got strict diets for you to eat all these thousands of calories. And
Yeah,
put
but
that
it's a
muscle.
weird situation that he's not a scholarship athlete.
Right.
And I don't know what the rules are. If you're a preferred walk-on, I don't know if there's a differentiation as being part of the team. If you can keep the same, if you're on the team, our walk-ons, especially in football, the same. You know, like you have a finite number of scholarship athletes. I don't know how much leeway there is with the walk-on portion of that.
Right. Are you afforded the same luxuries, per se, that the scholared athletes get with training table, with different things like that, tutors galore to help you with planning the transition? There's a lot of things behind the scenes when you're a scholar athlete that take place that help you out to be successful.
No, there's a whole department that runs that, and I have no idea how the walk-on portion of that works.
Right.
Most walk-ons, they don't suit up for games.
Right.
They don't travel to away games. So it's a different thing.
It is a different thing. And again, not only is obviously a physical adjustment from high school ball to college, but again, the mental thing. Because where you're coming from a place where you played all the time, and then now all of a sudden you got to earn that back, like you're a freshman trying out for the varsity at that point, and you really got to show good tape, and the coaches will. If you're good enough, they're going to keep you and coach you up hard.
When I was a walk-on at UCLA on the basketball side of things, only 2 walk-ons traveled, and so and there was 5 of us. So sometimes you went, sometimes you didn't.
Right.
I mean, we always had meals with the basketball team, but it's a lot smaller program.
Yes, with basketball, yeah.
And but that's all changed now too, because there's so many assistant coaches on the school. You take a look at a basketball bench in college, and there's a coach for every player, just about.
It is. I've noticed that the coaching staffs now are crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you need
there's 2 rows of
rows.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can't fit them all in where the
same thing with the NBA. You know, that coach that just passed away for the Warriors.
Yeah.
He sat behind the team.
Yeah.
He was not on the bench.
Yep.
So, but part of that is also the seats that they put on the floor and sell those big time
premium seats.
Yeah, those are premium seats.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, when we come back, we'll go over some scores from.
I want to go. I've got the brand new standings in all the conferences, so I thought we would go into that for a minute or two.
Exactly. We're getting towards these conference championship things right now, so yeah, that would be a good thing to go over. You're listening to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, presented by the Bill Marsh Auto Group on Up North Sports Radio.
Hi, this is Bill Marsh Jr. Introducing the new eMarsh custom purchase experience at BillMarsh.com. eMarsh makes car buying fast and easy. Choose your vehicle and options, get an accurate trade-in value, calculate your monthly payment choices, and apply for credit. You can even schedule at-home or at-work test drives and deliveries. Start your eMarsh experience at BillMarsh.com. eMarsh. Welcome to easy. And thank you.
The Traverse City Record Eagle wants your nominations now through February 16th for our 4th annual Women's History Month publication. Our commemorative edition honors women committed to embracing all and who have taken a lead in showing the importance of inclusion, equality, and fairness throughout our region. Nominate a woman, past or present, to be honored and celebrated in this annual Women's History Month publication, to include featured profiles of nominees. Now through February 16th. Nominate at record-eagle.com/NMI Women.
The 5-man electrical jam, Tesla. Tesla, coming at you live Friday, March 15th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Tickets start at $44 and are on sale now at the box office and online at etix.com. Party hard, rock harder. Tesla, Friday, March 15th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
It was a day not unlike any other when you pulled into the driveway and realized your house was no longer welcoming you home. The only way back from this decaying time warp is to cross over to the Woodworker Zone. Let the Woodworker shop in Cummins unlock your imagination and guide you back to an exterior that will welcome you home. Real pine log sidings, deckings, log home kits, stains, and sealants. See it all at loghomeshop.com.
Welcome back to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, presented by the Bill Marsh Auto Group on Up North Sports Radio. Rich Calkins and Jerry Coyne in studio with you. And JC, you have some of the conference standings from around Northern Michigan, hot off the presses.
Yeah, hot off the presses. I don't need these headphones. So the Big North Conference, which is where your Traverse City West team resides. Yep. Cadillac, as we know, has yet to lose in conference.
That's right.
They're 7-0 and 14-1 overall. That one loss was, who did he mention it to?
Whitehall.
That's right.
That's who beat Cadillac. They're undefeated still.
Yeah. And then Traverse City West is 5-2 in conference, 12-5 overall. Petoskey is 4-3 and 9-6 overall. In the conference, Gaylord is 3-4, 7-9 in conference. Traverse City Central is only 2-5 and 2-13. But, like, they got Anthony Ribel back again, and they ran Gaylord out of the gym the other night.
They sure did. It's a big difference when you have Ribel. And his little brother seems to play better when his brother's there.
Well, you know, that makes a lot of sense.
It does, because then they can't concentrate on the younger Ribel, and then so you're able to share the basketball more, and they work well together.
I can't stick around for that Traverse City Central Cass Tech game, but you know, hopefully Ribel can stay healthy. They could be a very dangerous team.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Alpena is 0-7 in the conference and 5-12 overall. And then the other conference that we keep our eyeballs on is where Grayling resides, Grayling Vikings. Elk Rapids having an outstanding season. They're 9-2 in the conference, 10-7 overall. Charlevoix is 7-3, but 13-3.
Yeah. All their losses have been in conference.
Been in conference, that's right. Traverse City St. Francis 7-3 in the conference. You know, we've had Coach Finnegan on a number of times. 8-6 overall, but they played a very tough preseason schedule. Yeah. They always do. So we'll, you know, it sounds like he's getting their team into the understanding the concepts that have made the St. Francis basketball program pretty good.
They were so senior dominant last year.
Yeah.
That was the only team that made it all the way to the state finals.
Yeah. Harbor Springs is 7-4 in the conference, 10-6 overall. Boyne City 6-5 and 10-7. East Jordan is 2-7 and 6-9. That's the exact same record that Grayling has. And then Kalkaska is 0-9 in conference and just 1-14 overall.
Yeah, the past couple of years, the Kalkaska program has struggled.
Yes. The Ski Valley Conference, Mansalona is 10-1 and 13-3, and Bel Air tied with them at 10-1 and 12-3. Onaway is 9-3 in the conference, 12-4 overall. Gaylord St. Mary's 8-4 and 11-5 overall, but they lost their best player to a broken foot.
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
And that just happened this past week, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that kid's name? I'm sorry.
But no, that's so tough when you're your best player.
Jacobson, I believe, is his name.
When you're going through, you're having a good year and everything happening, and your best player goes down a couple of weeks before districts.
Yeah, he is out for the year for sure. Daniel Jacobson has been having a really good season too. Indian River is 8-4 and 10-6 overall. Central Lake 3-8 in conference, 6-11 overall. Joburg, Lewiston 3-9 and 3-14. Pelston 1-11 and 2-14, and Fife Lake Forest area having a tough year.
They are
0-11 in conference, 3-13 overall.
And then you have some of the girls' standings, I believe, there as well.
Yeah, they don't have the Jack Pine here.
Okay.
I might look that up, or maybe you can look that up, Rich.
I will.
But yeah, as far as the girls are going, Big North Conference, Traverse City Central girls having a really good year. They're 6-0, 10-3 in conference. Alpena girls having a good year, 4-2 in conference, 9-5 overall. Cadillac is 2-3 in conference, 8-5 overall. Traverse City West 2-3 and 6-9. You've called a couple of their games, Rich. Petoskey is 2-5 in conference, 8-9 overall, and Gaylord 1-4 and 6-8. They had a couple of girls that got hurt that really affected a team that Gaylord was counting on having a pretty good season.
Right. That's no doubt about it. It's,
I'll go ahead and go through the rest of the girls, and then we'll go to get the Jack Pine boys.
Okay.
Elk Rapids is 8-1 in the Lake and Michigan Conference, 13-2 overall. Harbor Springs 8-1. Some of these are different because the girls played last night, and this was as of yesterday.
Right.
Because I know that the Grayling girls lost yesterday to Traverse City St. Francis.
Yes.
Which is surprising considering the Grayling girls are 4-4, and the Traverse City St. Francis girls are 2-7. Actually, they're 4-5, and Traverse City St. Francis is 3-7 now. in the Lake Michigan Conference. And in the Ski Valley Conference, no surprise, the Gaylor St. Mary's girls at the top of the conference at 9-1, 10-4 overall. Indian River is 8-2 and 8-5. I know they have to play each other one more time. Joburg Lewiston ladies having a pretty good season, 7-3 and 9-5 overall. Onaway 7-4 and 10-4. Mansalona, the girls having a good year, just like the boys are.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, 6-4 and 8-7. Bel Air 4-5 and 7-7. Central Lake 2-7 and 2-11 overall. Pellston 0-8, 1-11 in their overall schedule, and Fife Lake 0-9 and 0-12.
Okay, I do have the Jack Pine Conference here. In boys action, Sanford Meridian leading the way right now. Perfect 12-0 in conference play, 15-2 overall.
Good
That's
year.
a Division III Class C team that to keep your eye on here as they look to make a deep playoff run. Sitting in second place in the Jack Pine, Pinconning at 7-4. That's a newer addition to the Jack Pine Conference after Roscommon and Houghton Lake went over to the Highland. Pinconning is 14-5 overall. Shepherd's also sitting there at 7-4, 10-7 overall. Clare, also there's three teams at 7-4, really battling it out for that second place in the Jack Pine. They are 11-8 overall. Gladwin 7-5 in conference play, 10-6. Beaverton 4-8 and 7-10. Harrison 2-9 and 3-5 overall. And Farwell having a tough year, 0-12 in conference, 0-18 overall is their record, and that's in boys action.
Yeah, that's so there's a little look as we get close to the end of the season. Thought we'd update it. I'm glad I ran into those numbers because when you're just reporting scores, it's you kind of lose sight of who's where in the conference.
Exactly. No, it's good to report on what all these teams are battling for during the regular season. Yeah.
Don't forget that coming up at 1 o'clock here on Up North Sports Radio, the Red Wings will take on the Vancouver Canucks.
Finally, back in action.
Back 10 days off. Man, you know, I just read an article where Lalonde and a few of the players were like, you know, we've tried to keep sharp, but that's a long time to be off. That's like the Olympic.
Yeah.
When the U.S. and Canadian teams take such a huge break for the Olympics. So, you know, and as we mentioned yesterday, the Wings don't have a lot of wiggle room if they're going to make the playoffs.
Right. Really tough Eastern Conference there. But, yeah, glad to see them and hear them back in action. Like you said, it's been way too long.
And then U of M will be on the radio here. They travel to Nebraska, House of Horrors this year.
Tough place to play.
Michigan beat Wisconsin last week. It would be good to see them get some wins under their belt. And if they could win at Nebraska, that might kind of put them on a trajectory where they can maybe battle their way into the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get it going hot to that Big Ten tournament and knock some people off.
All right.
All right, thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back here at 10 o'clock next Saturday. You've been listening to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, presented by the Bill Marsh Auto Group on Up North Sports Radio.
This has been the Northern Michigan High School Sports Scoreboard Show, presented by Bill Marsh Automotive. Discover how easy car shopping can be. Join us next Saturday at 10 a.m. with host Rich Calkins. Nobody loves high school sports like Up North Sports Radio.
Yeah, I mean, look, I will say this. So, yeah, I have no interest in betting it, but if there was an offensive mind that could somehow get the center – I don't know how Creed Humphrey at center, you can't even report as eligible as a center, right? So they would have to almost move Creed Humphrey to right tackle for a play or something and make him eligible and then throw him maybe 2 passes in the game
there you go.
For him to win. There's your formula. There it is for you.
Hey, I risk 8 quarters and win $1,500 when they say Creed Humphrey's the MVP. I'm going to be feeling pretty good. Honestly, though, there are a couple of long shots that I'm looking at here. Now, as you point out, typically this is a quarterback award. Not always, though. In the last 20 Super Bowls, there have been 6 non-quarterbacks that have won the award. So it happens more than, say, the Heisman Trophy. It's not automatically going to go to either Brock Purdy or Patrick Mahomes. What about on the defensive side of the ball? I'm looking at like a Chris Jones number or a Bosa at 125 to 1. something crazy would have to happen. It would have to be like a 17-10 or a 10-7 type of game. But if it is a low-scoring game, they're going to look to that side of the ball. They're going to say who had the biggest impact. In all likelihood, San Francisco, that would mean Bosa. Probably if the Chiefs win because of their defense, Chris Jones had an impact. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we talk a lot about good value bets. Is there a little bit of value on one of those defensive players at 125-1?
It's really tough to come up with a scenario. Now, you were listening earlier, I like the under in the game, 47.5, and I do think it's a lower scoring game, and that would mean defensive impact. The problem is, I still think for Bosa or Jones, it applies to both. Not only does their team, have to win, but also you're required, I think, to have a multiple sack game plus a touchdown. I really believe that. Unless Chris Jones, if Chris Jones or Nick Bosa just blow up the game and somebody has 4 or 5 sacks and it's a 14-13 win, okay, that probably could get it done. But if this is 17 or more points scored by the winning team and there's not, in my opinion, multiple sacks, multiple fumbles, then to me a touchdown has to come into play. We saw last year in the Super Bowl, linebacker Nick Bolton return a touchdown, and then he had a second one called back. If he would have got the second one, he probably wins, but it was still not going to be a sure thing. That's what's so tricky about defensive players here. I'm never going to hate someone to throw $1 or $2 on, Chris Jones or Nick Bosa 125-1 here. I'll be honest, it's not a bet I made though. I've got a couple of MVP bets out there. That was not a direction I went in. For me, the quote unquote longest shot bet that I have at MVP, and it's not even that crazy. It's Pacheco at 30-1. I know our producer Tyler, before the postseason started, actually bet Pacheco at 240-1. So I don't have a 240-1 ticket. I do have a 30-1 ticket on Pacheco, and there's a specific path for him. I'm not telling you that it's extremely likely, but here, listen to me on a lower scoring game. Even if, let's say, the Chiefs win 21-17, 24-21. If Pacheco gets 2 touchdowns, and I admittedly understand, I think it requires 2 touchdowns in this game for Pacheco, and he has 80 yards to 90 yards rushing / receiving, and the Chiefs win by a smaller margin, and therefore Patrick Mahomes only throws 1 touchdown, or if it's really low where he doesn't throw any, and it's, Butker gets 2 field goals. So 2 Pacheco touchdowns, 2 Butker field goals, they win 20-17 or something like that. I think that's your path, and it's not that crazy in this year's offense where Patrick Mahomes is not throwing for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns often this season. If he does it in this game, obviously it's over, case closed. The Chiefs will win, and he'll win MVP. But that's kind of how I see Pacheco winning it.
There were probably 4 or 5 games during the regular season where if they gave out an MVP for that particular game, Pacheco would have been it. So is it completely crazy? No. As a matter of fact, Alex, I'd take it a step further. At that 30-1 that you're talking about right now, currently 28-1 at BetMGM for Pacheco to win the MVP, outside of people named Patrick Mahomes on the Kansas City Chiefs, wouldn't you say Isaiah Pacheco is the most likely guy to win it? I can't really see a scenario where Travis Kelce wins it. Let's say Kelce goes out there and has 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. They'll give it to Mahomes. Let's say Rasheed Rice goes out there and has a 95-yard catch and 2 touchdowns and $120. They'll still give it to Mahomes. I think basically the Chiefs win. What I'm telling you is it's either something crazy happened, like I was kind of having a little bit of fun with, where it's a Chris Jones or a L'Jarius Sneed has 2 picks and a touchdown or something like that, or most likely it's either Patrick Mahomes or Isaiah Pacheco. There's not a lot of guys that can take this thing home.
So I only bet on Mahomes just a day or 2 ago to win MVP. The reason why I didn't think the market was going to move much on the quarterbacks. The market moves on the guys we've been talking about, Pacheco, Kelce, or even guys further down the board. To me, like 2 weeks ago, when the options of the matchup, I should say, was known, there was no reason to rush and bet Purdy or Mahomes. Not that I didn't think either couldn't win it. It's just the market wasn't going to move, and so that's how I approached the MVP market. I went ahead and bet Pacheco and some of these other guys earlier, including Christian McCaffrey. We can get into his path in a second. Back to what you said with Kelce real quick. How does it look for him to win? Because I'm with you on Patrick Mahomes having 2 touchdowns and both are to Kelce, and Kelce has 110 yards. Is that enough? Because then Mahomes is probably not probably. If Mahomes doesn't have an interception, then he's got 2 touchdowns and he's got 200 something yards passing. And a Chiefs win, are they really going to give it to Kelce? There is the fan vote aspect to this, I understand. but it's really tricky unless it is a long touchdown somehow to Kelsey, and he breaks a couple tackles and he just looks dominant in this game, and it turns out to be a game-winning type of touchdown. Although we've learned that sometimes these voters, if it's really late in the game and if it's inside 2 minutes, sometimes the voters have already put in their vote, made up their mind.
That still won't be enough for Travis Kelce, Alex. They'll still give it to Patrick Mahomes. If Taylor Swift comes out of her suite during halftime, walks down, and performs multiple songs with Usher, then maybe they'll consider giving Travis Kelce the MVP, but he still has to have $150 and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough to wrestle that thing away from Patrick Mahomes. The truth is, even if he's just okay, and the Chiefs defense is the reason they win the game, they'll probably still give it to Patrick Mahomes. As far as best value goes, if I give you any value bet for MVP, you can take anybody on either side. I think the answer's got to be Christian McCaffrey, right? I mean, Christian McCaffrey could easily win this thing. There's a bunch of different scenarios. Brock Purdy could be average. It could be a low-scoring game. McCaffrey could go for $120. He could go for 3 touchdowns. He could be important out the backfield as far as catching the ball goes. And you're giving me more than 4-1 odds. That's got to be the best bet on the board.
So that is one of the bets I made right away about a week and a half or so ago was McCaffrey. And we talked earlier in the show, the path for a non-quarterback on the Niners side is much easier to see than on the Chiefs side, as we've laid that out. And so Christian McCaffrey is certainly part of that equation. It is hard to imagine him not, if the Niners win, having a big-time game. And so I know I love that bet as well. He's, to me, going to be a huge factor, 100-plus yards from scrimmage probably, and at least a touchdown. The question is that good enough for them to win? Not is it good enough to win MVP, but for the Niners flat out to win. And so that's the only tricky part with him. On the flip side, you asked just flat out best value, like way down the board, if there was anybody on the Niners side, Deebo Samuel at 25-1, I've kind of alluded to him. I think he's going to have a big-time game. I think he's somehow not talked about enough this entire Super Bowl week because of the discussion around McCaffrey and Brandon Ayuk. But I think Brandon Ayuk's gonna have a rougher day going up against Snead. And so Deebo at 25-1, and then even George Kittle at 80-1. I think it's worth, like, honestly a quarter of a unit on George Kittle just because of 80-1. We're talking about, in my opinion, still one of the best tight ends in football. And if he were to have a monster game, I could see voters more likely to give it to him because there's still a lot of people that view Brock Purdy as this game manager. And so if you told me the exact same stat line in a low-scoring game for Mahomes, 220 yards, 1 touchdown, Brock Purdy, 220 yards, 1 touchdown, who do you think voters are more likely to actually give it to the non-quarterback in that scenario? Probably on the Niners side, right?
I mean, brilliant minds, or in our case, Alex, average minds think alike, because that's exactly what I was going to say, dude. It feels like the voters will do anything to get this award to Patrick Mahomes. If his team wins and he goes out on the field, he's pretty much going to get the award. Brock Purdy could go out there and be pretty good. Brock Purdy could go out there and be better than average. And kind of like he's had his detractors even to this moment as we speak, even though he's the quarterback of one of the teams in the Super Bowl, I think the voters would try to give that to whoever catches the touchdowns or to Christian McCaffrey. They're going to do everything they can, for whatever reason, not to give Brock Purdy the award. The same way they're going to do everything they can to make sure Patrick Mahomes ends up with it. So if you give me 2 bets, Alex, right now, I can put my money on a guy on either team, Mahomes, thank you, Captain Obvious, and Christian McCaffrey for the 49ers.
Now, what if I told you a non-quarterback positionally that you could just bet on? You just go by the position. There's some other bets you can make. For example, any position other than quarterback. So quarterback versus any other position, plus 165 you can get right now at a couple books. So if it's just not going to be a quarterback, it covers all your bases. Now, I don't like that because I do believe the Chiefs are winning this game, and so I don't like I think there's a very strong case for Mahomes probably winning it. But if you think the Niners are winning this game, Sean, plus 165 for a non-quarterback to win it. And then there's also, if you think running back, fullback, wide receiver, or tight end win, plus 195. So that covers McCaffrey, Pacheco, it covers Kelsey and Kittle. It covers, obviously, the top wide receivers in that scenario, plus 195. Do you have any interest in either of those?
No, just because I don't like the value. I'm not saying it can't happen, but there's just not good enough odds for me. The one that I like the most when it comes to a long shot is actually the ticket that you're holding on to for Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, as much as I keep talking about they're going to try to give this award to Patrick Mahomes, let's say Mahomes goes out there like he did in half the games this season, Alex, and throws for around 200 yards and a touchdown. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what he did in a lot of games this year. If he has one of those games in tomorrow's Super Bowl and Isaiah Pacheco has $125 and 2 touchdowns, at some point Pacheco's numbers, they might be so good where they have to give him that award. So 30-1 odds, like if you just would have told me before we came on the air, hey man, what do you think the odds for Pacheco to win the MVP are? I would have said like 8-1, 10-1. You're getting awesome value at 30-1.
So Isaiah Pacheco, 30 plus rush attempts this Chiefs offense as a whole. It's up from where they were earlier. We know he had 24 rush attempts against Baltimore. He only had 15 against Buffalo, but that was a game in which they just got doubled up in play. So the fact that he got 15 carries, even in a game in which they got doubled up, is actually kind of impressive. And then against Miami, he had 24 carries. He's got that toe and ankle injury, but he has not been limited at all this entire week while we're in Vegas. He's a full go. They gave him a new shoe that's a little wider, more padding. I don't think anybody should be worried about that. He's going to get the ball. My only concern would just be Andy Reid getting a little, what I like to always call play calling arrogance, and somehow going away from it, even though it's worked. That has happened plenty of times in Andy's career, where even when the running game is going really well, he just can't help himself. Like he's a great coach. He's got a chance to go down as the greatest coach of all time if he coaches another 3-4 years and Belichick doesn't end up coaching again and he's able to get a few rings. But that would be my only hesitation with it. From a workload perspective, not the case for it, but just the workload would be, if this game ends and Pacheco has fewer than like 17 or 18 carries, I think it's coaching malpractice.
It sounds ridiculous when you say it. And then I go back to that Baltimore game a couple of weeks ago in the AFC Championship game and remember that Baltimore completely forgot that you could actually turn around and hand the ball off. I mean, that was their bread and butter. That's always been their bread and butter. And it's not like they just didn't do a lot of it. They completely abandoned it. So you're right. We've seen Andy at times be too pass heavy and stick away from the run. But as I said earlier in the show, he's got himself a real running back right now. This is not Damian or Darrell Williams. Isaiah Pacheco's a stud.
He's Sean Levine. I'm Alex Gold. This is Countdown 2 on BetQL and CBS Sports Radio, presented by BetMGM. Coming up next, though, let's go through some of our favorite props on the Kansas City side and a little more of those novelty and exotic props that are available for the big game come Sunday.
Oh no, your little one has caught a cold and has a cough. Help them feel better fast with DayQuil Kids from Vicks. It's specifically formulated just for kids, and it helps treat their most bothersome cold symptoms. It's also available in 2 delicious flavors, honey and berry. DayQuil Kids is the daytime congestion, coughing, stuffy head, stuffy nose, just for kids medicine. Pick it up at your local pharmacy or any major retailer today. For kids 6 and up, use as directed.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. If you're a dad who is facing divorce, there are extra layers of stress that may include stereotypes and assumptions. No 2 situations are the same. Our legal experience and dedication prepare us for whatever legal challenges we face together. You need a partner you can count on. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has represented men in divorce.
Offices in Detroit, Ann Arbor, and Grand Rapids. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com.
If you're like most people, you've had your fair share of financial questions. Questions like, can I afford my son's travel hockey team? What if my daughter doesn't get that soccer scholarship? Will I be able to enjoy golf in retirement? At Empower, we know these questions can be stressful. We're here to help answer your what ifs and empower what's next. Join 18 million Americans and take control of your financial future. Start today at Empower.com. Sponsored by Empower Personal Wealth.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all 3 with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
The weather is brought to you by Consumers Energy. Change is more reliable energy for homes and businesses across Michigan. Consumers Energy knows keeping the lights on is job number one. From tree trimming and burying lines to new technology, they have a plan for fewer and shorter outages. You can count on Consumers Energy.
I'm Doppler 9 and 10 Chief Meteorologist Tom O'Hare. Today's forecast, lots of clouds, some flurries, a couple snow showers, but not a lot adding up at all. More or less melting as it reaches the ground. As for temperatures, in the 30s, but wind chills back in the 20s. Wind speeds about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now later on tonight, more clouds and clear skies, some flurries, a couple snow showers, mainly north of Indian River, and low temperatures dropping down their 20s and 30s. Now later on Sunday, partly cloudy skies, some flurries, highs in the 30s. Monday, Tuesday, more clouds and sunshine, some flurries, highs generally in the 30s, but cooling down to the 20s and low 30s on Tuesday. I'm Doppler 9 and 10 Chief Meteorologist Tom O'Hare.
Feel love and fortune collide at Saguenay Eagles Landing during the Matching Hearts giveaway this February. Every Friday, one winner every hour from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. will have the chance to match hearts. Match 3 like amounts to win up to $2,000 cash. Plus, Cupid has sweetened the deal. Match 2 like amounts and the Cupid card to double your prize amount. Only at Saguenay Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit Saguenay-EaglesLanding.com for complete rules and details.
Catch all the action of Traverse City West Titan sports, streaming live online at upnorthsportsradio.com. The keys to the game are sponsored by TCAPS. Great communities, great schools, TCAPS.net. TC West Titan sports on upnorthsportsradio.com.
Steaks.com/sizzle. Score 4 free chicken breasts and 4 free pork chops with your order and start loving every bite today. But hurry, this offer won't last. Minimum purchase may apply.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
This isn't just an opportunity. It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance to transform your financial future. And who's your best ally in seizing this moment? Advantage Gold, the nation's top-rated gold IRA company, and we're offering you a free 2024 gold investment guide today. Imagine gold at $5,000 an ounce. As the Fed starts slashing rates, the potential for profit is immense. But here's the key. Timing is everything. We believe the moment to act is now, and Advantage Gold is your gateway to this golden opportunity. Our free 2024 Gold Investment Guide isn't just a collection of tips. It's a treasure map to possible wealth in a shifting economy. We've distilled expertise and insights into this comprehensive guide, tailored for both newcomers and veteran investors. Ride the wave of gold to unprecedented heights. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000 for your free guide. Call 800-900-8000 now.
Welcome back to Countdown 2 on the BetQL Network, presented by BetMGM.
Alex Gold, Sean Levine with you, getting set for the big game. Thanks for joining us. Best weekend of the year if you're an NFL fan for one particular game when we're talking about all the betting options. Yes, I know divisional round weekend gives you more games, but there's never been more props for a football game than what we got in store between San Francisco and Kansas City. We'll get to the Kansas City props in just a second, but I actually wanted to run through some of the first touchdown opportunities for this game over at BetMGM. So if you're wondering between these two teams, first touchdowns, players with multiple first touchdown games this year. Not going to be surprised to hear that Christian McCaffrey, 8 different times, scored the first touchdown of the game for San Francisco. Brandon Ayuk did it 3 times. Debo did it 3 times. George Kittle did it 2 times. On the Kansas City side, players with multiple first touchdowns. Isaiah Pacheco did it 6 times. Rashee Rice, 4. Jerick McKinnon, who's unlikely to play, 2. And then Travis Kelce 2 times. So keep that in mind when you're taking a look at first touchdown opportunities. Based on the numbers we just gave you, Christian McCaffrey is the favorite. That makes sense. Plus 350. Pacheco plus 550. Kelce 6-1. Rice plus 850. Debo 9-1. And Kittle 9-1. Sean, first touchdown market is also very popular. Just get you in the action right away. Even if it's a low-scoring game, maybe you have to wait until late in the first quarter or the second quarter to get there. But who do you like maybe on a first touchdown bet?
always nerve-wracking because, don't know who's going to win the kickoff, don't know if they're going to take the ball, don't know if I'm going to pick the team that has a chance to score the first touchdown. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey, but as you point out, Alex, he's the kid in class that just screws the curve completely, right? Like, he scores so many touchdowns. 8 times? You're telling me in half the games he was the 49ers' first touchdown scorer? His numbers I've seen at some point this year was like minus 300 in an individual game to get in the end zone. So he's completely screwed the curve for us. So I don't think I can put my money on him. On the Chiefs side, tell me if I'm crazy. I'm looking at Patrick Mahomes to be the first touchdown scorer. I get it. He typically doesn't run with the football. But let's say the Chiefs get down to the doorstep, all right? And let's say everybody thinks they're going to hand Isaiah Pacheco the football. Instead, just dream with me here, Alex. Naked bootleg, Mahomes rolls out, scores a touchdown, flexes on everybody, 22-1 on the ticket, gets the Chiefs going. Am I crazy? It's the playoffs. I know they don't typically run Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Can you see it?
I do think you're dreaming a little bit. I'll be honest. And maybe this clip will come back. This clip will come back to get me. And look, gladly we can retweet it if that happens. But I just don't. I don't believe a rushing touchdown for a first touchdown, I should say, is a smart bet. I mean, he hasn't had one all year. He would have had a rushing touchdown against the Jets on that Sunday night game, and then he wisely, not for those of us that had the Chiefs on the spread, but wisely for him at least, decided to take a knee at the 1 or 2 yard line, and so that would have been a rushing touchdown. We know Andy Reid. This has been like my biggest complaint, and a lot of people can't say if we're nitpicking here, but refuses to go quarterback sneak with Mahomes after the Denver game from a couple years ago where his kneecap popped out of place, and he's been terrified to ever do it. It was a fluky injury. There's plenty of other plays where he's more likely to get hurt, like running a naked bootleg or something like that, yet he won't do a QB sneak. And so that's my challenge. They could be at the half-yard line, fourth quarter, or even, whatever, any scenario. In this case, we're talking first touchdown, but just period to get a rushing touchdown. And Andy Reid, I don't know if he'll do it. I'm with you that if there was ever a time to do it, you do it in the Super Bowl. I just think he's terrified to be that. I think the only time we're going to see Mahomes do a QB sneak again might be when Andy Reid's not the head coach. I'm serious. Like, it's just crazy. That's his thought process with it. I know Mahomes would like the opportunity to do it again. So 22-1 first touchdown for Mahomes, I just don't see it, man. I just don't think it's in play.
My favorite Mahomes highlight, I think, is a running play. I know that's crazy to say because you could think like 15, but remember that playoff touchdown that he had against Tennessee where he ran on the sideline, he flexed at the end? I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying I tend to agree with all your points that Andy Reid doesn't like to run with his quarterback, particularly with Patrick Mahomes. When his knee was on sideways for a minute in that Denver game, it was terrifying. And since then, I can't remember one design run for him. All I'm saying is this is the Super Bowl. If there's ever going to be one, if you're ever going to try to catch your opponent by surprise, this would be it. I'm obviously having a little bit of fun at 22-1. I do like the odds, but I do think this is what the Chiefs are going to do as far as run, pass, split, as far as targeting goes. It's not going to be as creative as usual, Alex. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to look Travis Kelce's way. If he's not open, he's going to look his way again, and then he's going to look Rashee Rice's way. And if he's not open, I think he's going to tuck and run, man. I think he runs. We didn't get too much to it. You were asking me about Brock Purdy rushing yards. I love Patrick Mahomes rushing yards in this game. I think he could get 35 or 40 on the ground.
So I like the rushing yards. Yeah, I mean, he runs more in the Super Bowl. I just don't know if it equates to a touchdown. But I hear you. I mean, you referenced the AFC title game against Tennessee. That's an all-time play in his career and what he was able to do going up the sideline. It's one of the most memorable plays for him. He even acknowledges that. So yeah, the rushing yards, that's a fine conversation. I'm with you there. It's just awfully tough to get a touchdown. And then we're also talking first touchdown. Now, if you think Mahomes is just getting a touchdown in the game, it's 4-1 if you believe he's running. For me, on the first touchdown bets, I do like Deebo Samuel and I like Pacheco. It's just kind of the theme for me this entire week. I think both those players are a little undervalued heading into this game. And so first touchdown, both teams are going to defer the opening kickoff. So to me, you want to have a bet on two players to cover yourself there a little bit. I would like a bet on one Niners player and one Kansas City player for first touchdown. But let's get to some of the KC props, Sean. We went in through a couple of the San Francisco ones. Where are you on Kansas City? Is there a prop or two that you really like that has stood out for you throughout the week that you already have a couple bets on?
I'm looking at a lot of Rashee Rice's props, and it feels like he's a guy that in the last, say, month, let's call it once the playoffs rolled around, has really become an actual wide receiver threat. Alex, we went the entire season, right? You're hosting every day in Kansas City, and I would say the main topic of conversation is, can Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce do it on their own? Because there's nobody else to throw the football to. And throughout the regular season, that was pretty much true. And then all of a sudden, Rashee Rice got good. Then he got really good. Then he got targeted a little bit more. I think he sees the ball a lot, Gold, in the Super Bowl. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up with 7 or 8 catches. Now, he's got some pretty high props if you take a peek at those. But I wouldn't be surprised 7, 8 catches, 80, 90 yards, and a touchdown. As far as pass catchers go on the Chiefs, not named Travis Kelce, this guy's going to get a lot of chances.
So Rashee Rice at BetMGM over under 6.5 is where the reception total sits. Receiving yards for Rice 68.5, and I will agree with you on his composure too. I mean, he doesn't look like a rookie anymore. He's making those tough contested catches. Where I think you got to count on is the yards after the catch for him, and that is what he's been really, really good at. This is a Niners team that hasn't been great on underneath routes and some yards after the catch. If there's a weakness with how they play defense, it is that there are some opportunities underneath in the middle of the field, and that's where Rashee Rice has kind of lived this season. So I don't hate the thought process there. Travis Kelce over under 70.5. Everybody's taking the over on Kelce for a variety of reasons. One, the public just loves betting overs, plain and simple, right? I mean, the Super Bowl, you get so many people, this is what's great, that never bet all year. And they just, hey, they're going to a party with their buddies, and this is the game they're going to watch. Not to mention you got a lot of Swifties out there that now are watching football, which is great. I think it's phenomenal for the sport. I don't know why anybody has a problem with that. To me, it's fantastic. But they maybe don't bet normally. And so they're like, all right, well, I want to bet. You think they're betting against Taylor Swift's boyfriend? Absolutely not. So over is where a lot of people are at. I'll be honest, I'm staying away from the Travis Kelce yardage. I know he's been sensational this postseason, and I'm not even telling you that I would be betting the under, because I think that would be semi-foolish, but I'm just staying away. This thing has been bet up so much. I think he could be impactful in this game, but I don't like the yardage total there for Kelce, despite how great he's been in the postseason. The one receiving prop that's caught my attention actually is further down the depth chart with the Chiefs. And it's someone that I know that Mahomes trusts, Justin Watson. It's just 16.5 yards. It's a low number. I know you get a little concerned with target share and how do you get there. But I think he's someone that's shown that Patrick Mahomes has trusted him on key third down spots. The trickier part is he's probably getting 3 or 4 targets. So, much like when we've discussed in the past, Noah Gray and others, it's not like you're getting 8 opportunities. He's got to catch one of these balls that goes his way in 2 or 3 opportunities. But I think Justin Watson, it wouldn't even surprise me, gets an anytime touchdown in this game. Sean, if there's somebody that outside of the big 3, Rice, Pacheco, Kelce, that gets a touchdown, I actually believe Justin Watson might be the answer to that equation. So I got a little sprinkle on the anytime touchdown for Watson, and I'm looking at his yardage total over 16.5. I don't hate that. I actually prefer that over, believe it or not, MVS in this game at 19.5. I know MVS has come up with big-time catches, but I think this is Justin Watson's opportunity.
This is like, if you're an NBA bettor, like taking Grayson Allen's overs. Like, he's the 5th, 6th most important player on the team. So you're telling me, Alex, that when Patrick Mahomes drops back, you're going to look at your TV and you're going to go, dude, I hope that he's throwing toward Watson or MVS. I'm telling you, that's not going to happen. Now, maybe once or what's that?
I was going to say, look, though, you're right. I mean, majority of time, in a perfect world, they would have 65 snaps on offense and 65 touches would only go to Rice, Kelce, and Pacheco. But you and I both know, out of those 65 plays, there's going to be 8 to 10 other opportunities out there. And I'm telling you that I think 1 or 2 of them are going to Justin Watson. And I don't hate a little sprinkle. I got to pull up the latest number. Where the anytime touchdown is now. It's changed during the week on Justin Watson.
Your point, though, about a lot of money coming in on the Super Bowl, more money than ever is going to be bet on this game, and it's not even going to be close. Think about all the states in the last calendar year that have legalized gambling. By the way, as you've mentioned several times, you're doing the show right now from Las Vegas, Nevada, so there's going to be a lot of people that are putting bets in on it. I'm very curious to see what the final numbers are as far as how much more this game gets bet tomorrow versus any other event has ever been bet. Just not even going to be close. Everybody's going to have money on this game.
No question. No, I mean, there's a lot of factors into it. You hit on it. I think the continued legalization of sports wagering goes into this, the Swifty effect, all of it. There's no doubt this is going to be most watched and most wagered. I was trying to look up the estimate. There were some numbers that came out earlier in the week. I don't have them in front of me, unfortunately, but of the amount of dollars wagered, and that's on legal markets, right? And that didn't even include some of the offshore stuff that some people are still doing, because there's a lot of exotic prop bets that are out there that you can't bet stateside. Heck, there's some states that you can't bet the Gatorade color. In Kansas City, on the Kansas side, which is the only legal market in the area there, you can't bet on Gatorade colors in a legal aspect. Yeah, each state's a little bit different. There's only a handful of states you can actually do the Gatorade color.
I know we're going to get into the more fun props also.